kind of weighing his options. So we're going to see here. I think if I know Tom Wilson, he's going to punt it and play field position, but you never know.
It's actually the end of the first quarter. I got to be paying attention a little bit better. It's already the end of the first quarter.
The game flies when you're having fun.
All right, so we're going to have this is one of those fun things that's going to be happening all season. We're going to have him. We're going to have David Slinker come on in here in just a moment. He is with CenturyLink. David, why don't you come on in and sit with Billy Battistone and I. And David, you are with CenturyLink, and this is the first time. This is the first time you've been able to see a game in action. What's it like to view a game from up here?
Oh, this is an excellent perspective up here. It's one, unfortunately, not all fans can see unless they're watching it on the web.
Maroons are going to go for it on fourth. They're going to give it to Chase Dowell, and by the first surge and the second surge, he has it. They'll move the chain, so forget the punt. They're going to move the football forward, Billy.
And I love the gutsy call. I thought they were going to punt it, especially with it being a tough rivalry game. But you know what? The defense was a little flexible last, and they really want to get out to a 2-score lead, and it worked out for them.
It was 4th and 1. It was a run by Dowell. Move the clock. After one quarter, it's 7-0. Don't you worry, David. We're not going to forget about you. You're going to be with us here for the whole game, or for most of this second quarter, as we get adjusted here. 11:43. The Maroons have the football now. 1st and 10. They're still on their side of the field. That's the 49-yard line. Under center is the sophomore quarterback, Ryan Boyle. Toss sweep comes to Dowell, left side. He puts his head down, gets across midfield, gets to about the 48. David, got to thank you first for making this broadcast possible. Why was CenturyLink wanting to be a part of something like this?
Well, this is something that fits right into the core values of CenturyLink, where we can improve communities, connect up our neighbors, and bring people with the new technology. And bringing this live video stream on the internet is just an excellent example of how you can match your technology and connect your communities.
And this is something you're going to get a chance to look at some of those statistics, but it is just fun to see. Last season we were seeing all over the world, and pretty excited about where we can end up this season. We'll get to you in just a moment. In motion, I think they took too much on the play. There'll be a penalty on this one. We'll go against Dowling. Oh, they call a timeout.
They were able to sneak the timeout in, yep.
David, one of the things you talk about being involved in the community this week, I just heard you made a donation not too long ago, maybe even yet this afternoon, over at East High. Tell me about that.
Yeah, when we heard the situation with East High School and the fire that they had, the following morning we went down and met with Athletic Director Rick Powell and said, we derive a lot of business from the East Side, and we support the East Side, and we were able to give that donation of $1,500 to help them to buy essentially a set of new uniforms or help some of the kids that may have had personal equipment that got lost in the fire purchased. So we're just glad to be able to connect up with the community.
That was Williams Stadium was the home field for Dowling a couple of years ago during their playoff run. Rick Powell, very good man, very good program, running everything the way it's supposed to be. Coach Schoen trying to get things turned around there. That fire right before practice started, very devastating, but I know at Valley High School they've done things. Dowling has offered to go help. It's just been an outpouring of support. We'll get on that moment in just a moment. We're back to live action now. 2nd and 6 from the 48-yard line. Handoff goes up the middle to the fullback, Nate Christian. Boy, he just barrels his head down and gets very close to that first down, about 2 yards short, Billy. And
Christian is definitely the north-south runner. He's going to put his head down. He'd rather run over you than try to run around you. He runs low to the ground. He packs a heavy punch, and he's going to come right at you, especially against these bigger linebackers. He's not a huge fullback, but he runs like one.
And that's something that the fullback has not been as involved in the offense the last couple of seasons as I'm guessing some people would like.
Yeah, and Dowling's really started to run more with a lead blocker and get him more involved.
It's going to be a quarterback keeper by Ryan Boyle, and by the spot on the far side, he's going to get that first down. So David Slinker here with CenturyLink. And David, first of all, thank you again for making this webcast possible and helping out East High, continued community support. What are some other ways that you get involved in the community?
Well, this Sunday with the Iowa Cubs, we have a program that's called Share the Win, and we'll be giving a sizable check to the Food Bank of Iowa to help those that are in need.
down at the Iowa Cubs. Hopefully the rain holds off for that one. Boyle's going to throw the football a little lofty to Wisniewski. He's off the hands, incomplete. The player for Southeast Polk lost his shoe. That was a perfectly placed pass, Billy, but just off the reach of John couldn't hang on.
And good coverage by Crosby Hines, the 5'7" corner for Southeast Polk. That's a tough matchup for him, covering Wisniewski, but he read the pass route well and got underneath it and made it a very difficult attempt for Wisniewski. Just got enough on it to break it up. If he's not there, that's another 6 points for Dowling Catholic.
9:48 to go in the half. Dowling leads 7-0 on a touchdown pass to Matthew Hawk, a 53 one before. So Boyle, that was his first touchdown pass of his varsity career. Forgot to mention that one from the broadcast. I believe someone's supposed to be in motion, and they're not. Hawk goes in motion with 2 on the play clock. They get it off. Back to Dowell up the middle, down to the 35-30. Puts his extra kick on and gets down to the 30-yard line. Finally ripped down by Chase Drees. That's a good, hard run by Dowell.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of confusion there on the Dowling Catholic offensive side. They weren't really sure who was supposed to be going in motion. They were able to avoid the 2-man in motion penalty. And sometimes when an offense gets confused, a defense can be even more confused because the defense has that scouted, but when the offense starts changing things, that can sometimes really mess with the defense as well.
And we'll bring in David Slinker after this play. 1st and 10 from the 30. Dowling has the football running from right to left. They go back to the fullback. Christian goes to the left and cuts back to the right. So much for that north-south. He actually made a cut move. What's going on with that?
Yeah, pretty interesting. Again, he got into some space and made a quick cut back. But, again, Luke Sargent, the inside linebacker for Southeast Polk, is going to be all over the field tonight. And he's going to be tough to block.
So that's 2 straight runs to Dowell. Not by design, but I know Coach Wilson had said that is something they were going to try to do, was to get him more involved. But now the backfield empties out a little bit. We have a formation where Christian is there, and Dowell has now moved out of the backfield to the right flanker spot. Drop to the left. The pass is not there. Boyle's going to throw it towards the end zone. Hawk is there at the end zone. In and out of his hands, incomplete. He was covered down there deep by Scott Alt. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. David, exciting plays like this, high school football, always fun night, fun place to be on a Friday night, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. To see the fans that are in the stands, the bands are getting ready to come out for halftime. You got great group of kids that are out there playing right now. What's even more interesting is to look at the next generation that's out here also with the youth football.
Always fun to see at any level when you're playing catch on the sidelines. This is the 14th play of the drive here for the Maroons. They have certainly kept Southeast Polk offense. It's a fake to the left, and now Boyle's got to run for his life, being chased. Pursuit throws off his foot. It's going to be intercepted by Southeast Polk. Picked off at the 20-yard line, returned for a couple of yards. The one making the interception is number 19, Crosby Hines, the cornerback, and that'll be a turnover.
And I think that ball was tipped. It certainly looked like it from our perspective that a linebacker got a hand on that. Good job by Ryan Boyle avoiding the rush, but a throw on the run. I think he just didn't get it elevated enough. Linebacker got a hand on it, fell right to Hines for the interception. So that's the first turnover of the night for Dowling Catholic, and we're going to see how this defense responds.
So at the 8:34 mark, Southeast Polk will be there. Yeah, we still hear you there, David. Hold on, let me turn you down. I know everybody wants a piece of David Slinker. He's a very important man. I don't know if you know that or not, David. Very, very important. We'll get to you in a moment. Toss sweep goes to the right side. Not there. Cut back for Breen to the 20. Didn't get very far. David, Friday nights are fun, being involved in football. What else is going on with the company that we should know about?
Well, one of the things that CenturyLink will be doing is that on Sunday, through the John R. Grubb YMCA, we'll be donating school supplies to kids that are in need. And we'll have a good contingent of employees out there handing out also. So it's all about giving back to the community.
Well, on behalf of Dowling Catholic, absolutely. Thank you for what you do for the community. We really appreciate it. We know what good work you guys are doing, so thank you.
Starcevich keeps the football and gets about 3 yards up to the 23-yard line before he's tackled by Klinker. And I've seen those CenturyLink ads, and I've seen all sorts of things being involved. But is this a new thing where CenturyLink's going to be involved more on the high school level? Are you starting a new trend? Are we trendsetters on this broadcast?
Yeah, definitely. As the technology has grown, this has allowed people to be able to stream these games live over the internet.
3rd and 7. Starcevich is going to throw a beautiful pass, and it's going to be caught by Breen at the 39-yard line. Enough for a first down before he's pushed out of bounds on that far sideline right in front of, that was Luke DeVenny. So move the chains as a nice pass there.
And that's that new cover one look that Dowling's showing a lot more this year. The problem with that cover one is when you get that flag route to the corner, it's a really tough play for the safety to be over the top, and he's going to be behind it, so you really get that ISO coverage, and that was just a great ball by Starksevich to make the completion.
Ball goes up to the 39-yard line of Southeast Polk, 1st and 10. At the 7:20 mark, Starksevich, plenty of time to throw. Beautiful pass in stride. It's caught by Southeast Polk. Phil Velez across the middle, all the way down to the 29-yard line, 31-yard line, before he's finally tackled on that play. Who made that tackle there, Billy?
I couldn't really see the number. I was looking back. Ben Ryan came up limping, one of the defensive linemen, and now they're going to have to get him off the field now. That could be big for the Dowling Catholic defense. He's a real run stopper for them, and if he has to come out of the game, somebody else is going to have to step up, and they're going to have big shoes to fill tonight.
Coming off the field, Sam, is that Sam Morris?
That's Ben Ryan.
Ben Ryan. You just said Ben. Tell me about type of player Ben is.
Ben's a real hard worker. The coaches are always really impressed with his practice work ethic. They say he comes every day and goes hard, and he's walking off the field okay under his own power. So I think once trainer Del Lark gets a look at him, he's going to be back. I'm not worried about that yet.
Nice pickup there for Southeast Polk. Starksevich goes back under center. 2 receivers to the right. Throws to one of them. Again, it's Velez. Caught at the at the 29. Velez goes all the way down to the 14-yard line.
And that time they were in a cover 2 look on that side. The safety was over the top with the corner on number 1. The linebacker's trying to drop, and on the quick throw, the linebacker just couldn't make that play. And that's an easy completion for Starksevich and the Southeast Polk offense.
14-yard pickup, gets the ball down to the 16, 6:40, clock moving. Starksevich hands it off to Bream. Bream goes in, now going to go to the outside and try to make a move. Trying to help him is Devaney. Devaney pushes him out of bounds, but not until a gain of about 4. Sherinian is also out there. They're going to get him all the way up to the 11.5-yard line.
That was a nice play by the corner to stay off the block, and the wide receiver for Southeast Polk avoided the block in the back. I think that's what he was kind of looking for. You almost saw Devaney take a couple extra steps forward, maybe trying to draw that flag. I know they work on that in practice. So we're going to see if the Dowling Catholic defense can't step it up here on the red zone.
6.5 to play, 7-0 Dowling in the lead here. We're in the second quarter, fast-moving game. The lights have barely taken effect. Breen gets the handoff on the left side, cuts it back up at the numbers. He's going to be short of the first down. Short of the first down because Sherinian and Palmy were there.
And that's the exact same play call we saw on the other side of the field in a similar situation, except on 3rd down. On 2nd and long, 2nd in that middle range, instead of giving Starksevich a chance to run the ball, giving the jet sweep a look, seeing if they can beat Dowling to the sideline.
David Slinker from CenturyLink is here. All right, what do you do in the huddle? What are you calling on this play?
I think that you might want to take a look with the time that we have left, maybe a shot in the corner there on the left end.
Play to that near side of the field for Southeast Polk. They are on the left hash.
Yep, that's correct. That's what I would call.
Did you play high school football?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you play?
Out in California in Loomis High School.
So how different is what California football is to what you've seen tonight?
A little bit more in the air, and that's for most of the schools in California. Do a little bit more bootlegging than we see here, but the level of competition that we have here in Iowa is excellent. It's a great game. It's good to see that we have a lot of fair play and great sportsmanship also, which has really strengthened up the division.
It is fun to see. Billy, you were a Chicago area kid and getting a chance to see this high school football you did when you were a student at Drake and now a coach at Dowling. I mean, I've seen some Illinois football over time. Those two schools, I think those two states are pretty similar, don't you?
Absolutely. The style of play is very similar, but I will say the high school pageantry that's in Iowa is unlike anything I ever saw in terms of the radio broadcast, the webcasting, the alumni, the crowd support. It's crazy here. I love it.
All 42 people in the press box, is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely.
Going to be a handoff to Breen, puts his head down. He is going to be close.
I think he's going to be short.
But I think he's going to be short. That far side referee is making him short. And so now you're looking at another field goal opportunity at a goofy angle.
I think this is another big decision for the Southeast Polk coaching staff. We saw Tom Wilson with a similar coaching decision earlier on the 50. This one's on the inside the 10, and they're going to go for it.
4th and 1 at 5:39 mark. Starksevich, long snap count. This would be one where you try to draw the defense offside and then maybe kick the field goal. Long snap count. That looks exactly what they're trying to do. But they're going to hand it off to Bream. Up the middle, Bream puts his head down, and by golly, I think he got it. He needed to get to about the 5, and I think he made it just short of the 5, but he got about 3 ball widths, enough for a first down.
And that's a really tough play to defend, especially when Southeast Polk got quick to the line. You knew they were going to come with a hard count to try to draw Dowling off. And as a Dowling defender, if you're in your stance for a long time, you get kind of antsy. And when Dowling, you don't know if Southeast Polk's really going to snap the ball or not. When they do run a play, it might catch you off guard.
First and goal from the Dowling 5-yard line. Starcevich surveys at the 5-minute mark. Handoff, it's a play action. Starcevich rolls, looks to the right. He's going to be in the grasp, and the pressure was coming. That was putting the pressure on Michael Palmy. Man, I'm just going to say it again. It's good to see Palmy playing.
Absolutely, and that's Palmy's role there on the quarterback boot. Get to Starcevich, make him make a throw. You don't want him having time on the boot, because the longer you let those Southeast Polk wide receivers run around in the end zone, the more likely it is that the Division I prospect is going to find one of them.
Second and goal from the 5. We're at under the 5-minute mark. 4:56. 2 receivers go left to right. There's going to be a flag on the play. I need to find my friend Ramel on where he went to. Ramel and I have been together a long time, and we'll get it worked out. Ramel on Twitter tonight is chasing all sorts of things down. He should have just come in and punched me, but that's all right, bud. We'll get you back. Ramel Slaughter, RHS76 on Twitter. Also, join the conversation with us at Dowling Webcast. That's our Twitter handle, and also on the website here, dowlingwebcasting.com. Glad to have you aboard. Paul Yeager and Billy Battistone. 2nd and 3 is the call from the, or 2nd and goal from the 3. Pick up a 2 on that play. Receiver as a half the distance penalty there. Bream gets it. It was a penalty on that play. Bream gets about a yard, maybe.
And another big 3rd down. It's going to be third and goal from the 3. And the Dowling Catholic defense really going to have to dig in here. And guys like Michael Sherinian and Palmy are really going to have to make a big play here. Keep Southeast Polk out of the end zone, force another 4th down conversion.
3rd and goal from the Dowling 2. Starcevich is going to come to the line with the I formation. Go to Bream on the 2nd man through, and Bream is going to get into the end zone and in for a touchdown.
And that's just straight power. That's just getting behind our offensive linemen. We're going to get the 3 yards we need, and that's exactly what happened. I think Dowling Catholic was more prepared for something up the middle, and Bream was able to bounce that outside into the B gap and get in for the score.
12 plays, 79-yard touchdown drive for Southeast Polk, capped on a 2-yard touchdown run by Jordan Beam.
2-yard run for a touchdown for Beam.
And pending the extra point is blocked. The Maroons blocked the extra point. And coming through, I believe that's Palmy.
And that is Michael Palmy. What a great play. And you don't want to, you always look in a football game for plays that are going to change the entire dynamic of the game, and that is going to be one of them. The fact that it's now 7-6 instead of 7-7, that's going to completely change the rest of this game, because Southeast Polk is now going to be trailing. They're going to have that in the back of their mind. And Dowling still gets to play with a lead. Even though it's a 1-point lead, it's still a lead, and we don't want to overlook that.
David Slinker, what do you think of that drive?
Yeah, that's a time consumer, but the good thing is we got about 4 minutes and 23 seconds left. So there's an opportunity to come back from that and go in with to the half with another score.
And one of the main benefits Dowling Catholic, David, has going for them is they run that no-huddle offense. And so running a 2-minute, 3-minute drill isn't a real big deal. It's not a huge change because that's what we're used to practicing. And so if any team's really well-equipped to go the length of the field in a short amount of time, it's going to be those no-huddle teams like Dowling Catholic.
I'd like to thank our sponsors making this broadcast possible. CenturyLink is who we're hearing from now. Win Communications, Tarpey Media Group, Jiffy Lube, Scribblesoft, and the Tax Doctor, and also the Catholic Football League. We'll hear from them, hopefully here in this contest. We'll hear from that in a little bit. Looks like we have our guest here, so we'll move that out. So, David, we'll let you get one more final word in here before we send you down the road. Good to have you here. Final thoughts?
Yeah, it's just great to see another Friday night football take off already this year.
All right, David Slinker from CenturyLink, thank you so very much for your help and also the donation to East High School and making this broadcast possible.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
David Slinker with us. Thank you so very much. Glad to have you aboard as we have a very good football game. 7-6, 4:23 to play. All right, now Dowling takes that kick. It'll be up to the 35-yard line because I think it went out of bounds, and so by the rules it puts it up to the 35, so it'll be a short start for this shorter field for the Maroons.
Yep, and I think you're going to go back to, again, still plenty of time left. 4:23. Dowling Catholic has 2 timeouts left. No need to panic yet. No need to rush things yet. But I think you're going to see this tempo start to pick up for the Dowling Catholic offense.
All right, coming up at halftime, we'll rejoin our radio crew. Mark Amadeo and I, Dave Marcoulier, will have some look at some of the first things going on. Ryan Boyle goes right away to Matthew Hawk. Caught at the 45-40. Makes a move to the middle. 30-25. He's got one man to beat. Southeast Polk catches him back up at the 10-yard line. Great play, great strike, no penalties. Huge pickup for the Maroons.
Wow, what a throw and what a catch. You know that it was number 2, Evan German, the cornerback for Southeast Polk, tried to go for the interception. And what you always got to tell DBs, if you're going to go for the interception, you're going to try to knock down, you got to get a hand on it, because if you don't, it's going to be a big play, and that's exactly what happened for the Dowling Catholic offense.
56-yard pass play from Boyle to Hawk. And it's 1st and 10 for the Maroons at the Southeast Polk. They're all the way down to the 9-yard line. So it's even bigger than 56. It's a handoff. It's a Boyle going to keeper. Boyle is, he's carrying about 4 Southeast Polk players with him down to the 1-yard line.
A nice little zone read there. That Boyle's reading that defensive end. That defensive end collapsed hard at the running back. Boyle made the right read, pulled it, went right up the middle, and got him into good position. And now it's going to be 2nd and goal for Dowling Catholic, looking to go up 7, possibly 8.
At the Southeast Polk 2, it's the huge pickup by Matthew Hawk, and the Maroons are going to quickly huddle. Yeah, 56-yard. I had that right. I was like, was that the 9? I was thinking it was at the 19. It's 50.
I think you're
56.
I think you're underestimating your math skills, Paul. I think you're right on it.
It takes it a little bit. We have timeout on the field right now at the 3:21 mark. 7-6 Dowling lead, but Dowling is moving the football on a huge pickup to Matthew Hawk. So if you add up just Hawk's 2 plays, 56 and 53, nice night for Matthew Hawk.
Already, and he's the big play receiver, and you've seen it already. If you can get him out into space with 1 or 2 corners or safeties to beat, he is extremely tough to get down. He's quick, he's agile, he cuts extremely well, he gets into routes well, and Dowling Catholic's going to try to continue to get him the ball. That's what's going to happen when defenses, and you're going to see that constantly this year, when defenses start to key on Wisniewski, it's going to free up other receivers, and Matthew Hawk's going to be one of them. He's going to have a big year if Dowling Catholic's going to do a lot in the offseason, or in the postseason, because he's going to be available.
It's that work in the offseason that made everything possible.
Absolutely, and he puts in more work than anybody else does. He's constantly at speed and agility workouts. He's constantly in the weight room. He knew his role coming in this year was going to be big, and he's really embraced that challenge.
Couple of other scores. Ames leads Des Moines East 14-7. That's in the second. And Johnston in front of Des Moines Lincoln 10-7. Thanks to Ramel for those scores. 2nd and goal from the 2. Boyle under center. He's got a man in motion, but he gives to Dowell up the middle. Dowell is in for the end zone. Touchdown number 4 on the season. First for this game. Puts the Maroons up now by a score of 13-6.
And that only took about a minute, and that's what happens when you can get good field position. Again, the kickoff goes out of bounds. They get to start at the 35. They come out with a 50-plus yard pass play, and just like that, it's a quick 6 points for Dowling Catholic.
It was only a 65-yard drive. Well, when you start the ball at the 35,
that's all you
but
need.
Only 3 plays. That's what's incredible.
Absolutely.
Again, would like to let you know that we're having conversations online tonight. You can talk to us. You can also be a part of the $50 shout-out, and you can find a way to make that happen. We'll let you know how that is possible in just a little bit, but you can also visit dowlingwebcasting.com. But you find us on Twitter at DowlingWebcast. Twitter lets you have so many letters. Billy's on Twitter.
Absolutely. I just got into it a couple of years ago. And I'm starting to pick it up. You know, my friends have given me a hard time. It's actually all my Dowling Catholic alumni friends who are listening tonight. They're the ones that really use it a lot, and so I've started to really pick it up, and I enjoy it. It's fun. I really like following the athletes and the celebrities to see what they're up to. I'm a big Steeler fan, so I follow all the Steelers, and so I really have embraced it for that. But it is a great way to communicate with a lot of different people. So I'm the newest follower of Dowling Webcasting, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm very honored to be here. I'm having a ton of fun. So thanks for giving me this chance, and it's going to be a good time.
Well, we're glad to have you along with this broadcast. You come in. I worked last year with Dave Marcoulier on the radio side, and this year we have a couple of different crews, so it's fun to be a part. Glad to have you wherever you may be. I've seen some East Coast people checking in, some West Coast people. So it's kind of fun so far. 7-7 is that score. Yeah, but I've got Ames 14-7. So Twitter is actually behind on something. That doesn't happen very often. But 14-6 is your score as the kickoff by Josh Vidane. It's a short end-over-end kick that's going to be taken at the 17-yard line by Beam to the 25-30. Finds a seam. 35 brought down by the high shoulder pad at the 40-yard line. That was Michael Sherinian. Good return of 23 yards for Bream.
And that's something that the Dowling Catholic special teams really like to do. They like to kind of pooch kick it into that second level, but that time it just kind of carried on him and it went all the way to Beam, and that's the guy they don't want returning the kick at the 20-yard line. They really want to get into that second level, somebody who's not as used to handling the football. That one just kind of carried for him.
Maroon defense back onto the field. Gelati is on that near side and his defender across from his. As the play goes to the left, and again it's Jordan Beam and some broken down coverage. Beam still running 50-45 into Dowling territory all the way down to the 42-yard line. Huge pickup of almost 17 yards on that play.
And it's the jet sweep reverse. It's a defensive coordinator's nightmare. You get the jet sweep. You got your entire defense thinking sweep. Your defensive end, your outside linebacker on the backside have got to be thinking BCR, boot, counter, and reverse. And that time they got a little bit sucked in with the jet sweep, and Southeast Polk was able to hit him with the reverse for a nice game.
Bream last season had 135 carries for 807 yards and 12 touchdowns. He certainly is the featured back in this offense this season. He escapes one. Actually, this is Dalton Sanford. Sanford's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage by one of my favorite players to watch, and that is Michael Gelati.
What a stick by Michael Gelati. And corners and safeties, they love that, especially against bigger backs, more physical backs. They would rather go low, below the waist, and that's exactly what Gelati did. He kept his head up, but he hit right at the knees and sent the running back end over end. And that's what you want from a corner or a safety coming up.
Ball goes back to the 44-yard line on the Dowling Catholic side of the field, but the Maroon defense trying to hold here. They've got that 4-4 look, and we have a whistle on the play and a timeout by Southeast Polk.
And that's an interesting timeout for the Southeast Polk coaching staff. I don't know if they really liked the look they had or what, but with 2 minutes left, I think they would have rather tried to hold on to that timeout, but they're driving. They've got plenty of time. They've only got about 44 more yards to go here, but they really want to try to get into the end zone here. Make it a one-score game, 1-point game best. But yeah, interesting timeout. I think Dowling Catholic was kind of prepared for that formation. Southeast Polk was unsure what exactly was going on, and so that could be a break for the Maroons. We'll see how that plays out. And you can see Adam Jack giving a little bit of extra coaching here to the linebackers. I think Adam Jack's really stressing to them the importance of playing the run first and not getting sucked in on boot, counter, reverse. I think the big play Southeast Polk's going to reel off. If the four linebackers for Dowling Catholic can have a big night tonight, they're going to be able to hold this Southeast Polk offense. You've seen that already. So Coach Adam Jack, the linebackers coach, really talking them up and giving them some coaching advice during that timeout.
Adam Jack, the former Valley assistant, next week gets a chance to play his old team again. But this week he's still with the Maroons, just like he has been. Starcevich throws. It's on the screen to Bream on the left side. Caught at the 45 up to the 39-yard line. He gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe 5 more to the 39, so pickup of 5 on that play.
And it looks like they're bringing in more speed rush defenders. They've got a nose and a tackle package that they'll play for run, and then they've got another nose and tackle package featuring Cole Wymore, the sophomore, to come in. He's a little bit quicker, a little bit smaller. They'll bring him in to rush Starcevich.
You just can't let him get comfortable, because the moment he gets comfortable is the moment he can really pick you apart.
Absolutely.
Starcevich looks on the 3-step drop, wide open. Holy cow! Dalton Sanford's going to walk into the end zone, blown coverage on the far side. And just like that, Starcevich on a 39-yard touchdown pass to Dalton Sanford. And if they go for 2, can tie the ball game.
What a miscommunication on the defensive end. Grant Bossman is not very happy. You can see the frustration even from up here. Just a blown coverage assignment. I think both the corner and the safety thought they had the underneath routes, and they let the over route go, thinking the other one was going to pick it up, and there was nobody within 15 yards of him when he caught that pass.
So just like that, it's 14-12, pending the extra point, but the Rams are going to try to pull this one even and go for 2. A minute 21, if they can pull it even, certainly gives you a boost. You got one play to call. You're going to throw it to the right. It's going to be caught behind the line and stopped. Palmy makes the stop, and just like that, the pass was caught by Nate Cameron. But, boy, Palmy made the stick and keeps it a 2-point lead.
And that's the interesting thing about 2-point conversions in high school football. Obviously, I don't mind the call by Southeast Polk to go for it, but here you are late in the first half. You just had a big throw, big score for a touchdown. Then you go out, you don't convert the extra point, the 2-point conversion, and now you start to feel a little bit more momentum swing back to the Dowling Catholic bench. You know, it looked like they were kind of depleted. Again, I talked about Grant Bossum and his body language. After that stop, Grant Bossum's up. He's jumping up and down. He's trying to get his guys fired up. Again, the going for the 2-point conversion is great, but if you don't get it, it could be a huge swing against you. We're going to see how Dowling Catholic handles this. And again, we talked about it last time they had the ball, but a minute 21 on the clock, this no-huddle offense for Dowling Catholic is built for something like this, and we're going to see how they can handle it and see if they can't get some points on the board before halftime.
That drive for the Rams was 4 plays, 60 yards, capped on a 39-yard touchdown pass from Kyle Starcevich to Dalton Sanford. Sanford is listed as a running back, but he is all over the field tonight. Here on DowlingWebcasting.com. High kick is taken at the 19-yard line, and it's up end over end goes the return man. Making that return for the Maroons is Joey Miller all the way up. So now you're at the 33 with a minute 16. What do you do, Coach?
I think you're going to get the ball into your playmaker's hands. I think you've got to get the ball to Matthew Hawk. He's been on fire so far. Get him in space. Look for Wisniewski. See if you can get a mismatch with him. But you also want to be smart with the football. You don't want to turn it over. You don't want to give Southeast Polk a chance to sneak some more points in this half. And so I think you're going to see a combination here. It's going to be interesting to see if they just run it out to the half or if they want to take a shot here.
And they're going to go up the middle. It's going to be a handoff to Chase Dowell. Dowell's across the 40 to the 45, and he has got a first down before he is tackled. Looks like that stop, and that'll stop the clock. Luke Sargent makes the stop. Stop it for a moment at the minute 5 mark.
And cool and composed. That's what the Dowling Catholic coaches have practiced in the 2-minute drills and in these kinds of situations. Just keep your composure, run the play, make your blocks, treat it like any other series.
Pick up a 12 for Dowell. Boyle is going to put the ball in the air. He's going to throw it down the right side. He throws. It's down the right side, and it's caught by Matthew Hawk. Can you believe that?
Wow, what a catch by Matthew Hawk.
I think there was some audible gasps from in front of us here in the press box. Unbelievable Matthew Hawk on that play, a 55-yard touchdown catch.
Well, let's start with Ryan Boyle. What a great throw to stand in the pocket. It wasn't his first receiver. He was looking to his left. That was covered. He turned to his right, took a huge shot. Matthew Hawk goes up in the air, takes it out of the defender's hands. What a huge play for Dowling Catholic right before the half.
McClellan on to kick the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Well, so much for a safe play, huh?
Unbelievable. And again, you can't talk enough about that catch. I thought it was going to be intercepted after Boyle threw it. It looked like the corner had a great read. Absolutely. And but, man, what a great adjustment when the ball was in the air to come back for it, go up and get it. That's what they're drilling in practice. Go get the ball at its highest point, and that's exactly why. And what a huge play. Dowling's got to have all the momentum, but in order to keep it going into halftime, you got to keep Southeast Polk off the board here. You've made it a 2-score game. It's a 9-point game now. You don't want to give up a quick score here at halftime. Go into halftime up 9. That's going to be a huge momentum swing for Dowling Catholic.
Unbelievable the way that one went. 21-12 is your score, 46 seconds to play, 1st and 10 after the kick. Here's the thing, you got to keep it away from Jordan Beam because he's already returned the ball almost 40-yard and kickoff returns too.
Absolutely. I'm thinking if I'm the special teams coach for Dowling Catholic and I know Smitty real well, I think that's exactly what he's telling them. Get the ball out of their playmakers' hands because you don't want a big return here. Pooch kick it to that second level. Give it to him at the 30, but you don't want the ball in Beam's hands because he has the ability to break one.
But you got to remember, Starcevic can throw the ball pretty much anywhere on the field, and in two plays, they could be in the end zone as well. We got an exciting 46 seconds to go. That's that short kick, but it's taken at the 10-yard line. That's Sanford. Sanford to the 25, to the 30. Before he's tackled down, Sherinian is there. And also up on that stop, looked like Harrison Farrell came in there. Return to the 31.
And again, now Dowling Catholic's going to probably go to more of a prevent defense, and you got to think that Grant Bossom really stressed the coverages after that last drive. With the breakdown in the coverage, you don't want to give that up here. You want to stay over the top, let everything happen in front of you, and I'm sure that's what he told his safeties. What a game we've got already. Could have asked for a better one.
True. I could get into the prevent defense discussion, but maybe we won't have to get into that one if that prevents you from winning. We'll see what happens. Keep it all in front of you. It's going to be a safe handoff to Sanford because he knows the defense is back, and he's in to the secondary already. Gelati had to come up and make a stop at the 45-yard line. He got 15 yards, and now all of a sudden you've got 55 yards if you're Southeast Polk.
Yep, and again, that's not necessarily exactly what you're looking for. I'm sure Grant Boston would have liked to stop a little sooner, but again, not the end of the world. It's interesting. If Southeast Polk, if they go for the attempt of we're going to try to get big chunks or we're going to take a little bit at a time and try to get down there.
Shotgun. Starcevic finds Bream, and he's up to another first down across midfield to the 45 before Sherinian comes in and also Reed Flood. So Jordan Beam, a lot of action, and Southeast Polk takes a timeout here.
Yep, and a timeout on the first down, so they had the clock stopped. With 14 seconds left. And so now you're going to see them try to take a shot, throw something to the sideline. They've got to keep them out of bounds. If you're Dowling Catholic, again, keep them in front of you, but keep them in bounds. You don't want to be pushing guys out of bounds. You don't want to be tackling them out of bounds. Let's try to run that clock out and get it to halftime.
Pickup of 10. They needed 10 for, because it's 1st and 10. 14 seconds left. So what do you have? Do you cut this field in half or you try to get it all in one big bite?
I think you cut the field in half. With a guy like Starcevic, I think you run two routes. I think you've got one deep route that he can look at, but then you've got to have a check route for him. A check route at 10 yards. That's going to be key because if you get the first down in high school, the clock's going to stop, and you're going to have the chance to run up and spike the ball. If you don't get 10 yards and he's tackled in bounds, it's going to be very difficult for them to get any more plays off this half.
So Southeast Polk will come to the line. They're on the left hash mark. They send two receivers to the right and one to the left.
And you can see the cover 4 shell for Dowling Catholic, the two corners and the two safeties.
Starcevic rolls to his right about the V where Valley is. He's going to throw off his back foot. It's man-for-man coverage, and Gelati almost picks it off at the 10. But it goes in and out of his hands and out of bounds, and it'll be second down, but more importantly, only 7 seconds left.
And that play took 7 seconds. And so, again, if you're Southeast Polk, you got to think this is going to be your last chance, unless you want to throw something quick. And if you want to throw something quick, it's not the end of the world, but you're going to have to get it to the sideline now because even with the clock stopping, you might not have time to get up and spike it.
And Southeast Polk, as you said, no timeouts left here. With 7 seconds, they had to take a couple early. And they took one already on this drive. So they'll, again, bring two receivers to the right. Cody Heiler is one of them. He is on the near side of your screen. Down below in Velez. Velez had a lot of action early on. They're going to go across the middle to Beam. Caught at the 33. Reed Flood makes the stop. It is a first down, but that is the end of the game, or the end of the first half.
The end of the first half, and you got to see the excitement from Dowling Catholic. They knew this was going to be a tough game. We knew this was going to be a tough game. If you would have told those guys they would be up 9 going into halftime, they absolutely would have taken it. Well executed, with the exception of the one turnover. Very